Are you struggling to figure out what type of content to create or how to pivot your marketing strategy or just how to improve your marketing campaigns? If you are, you're going to need to have a strong brand strategy. And one of the most important elements in that brand strategy is your brand story. In this video, I'm going to share with you the elements of your brand story and how to use your brand story to get people to connect with your brand better than any other brand out there. So let's go. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Smart Marketing. I am your host, Jason Verdelli, and today we're going to be talking about how to build a brand story and incorporate that brand story into your marketing strategy so you can develop more effective campaigns. So your brand story is really a combination of all the different branding elements that we've been talking about so far. This is everything from your brand purpose, your mission, your vision, your essence, your values, your personality, into a narrative that speaks to your target audience. So, like all great stories, brand story really starts out with a problem, a challenge that you were trying to overcome, or the founder of your company was trying to overcome. Within that, to start off your brand story, you want to be very specific to what that problem was. So an example here might be you have your founder, or maybe you were spending 20 hours a week doing this one task, and you develop some sort of software or system to solve that problem that was taking you 20 hours a week. Well, the problem is the outcome of the problem is the 20 hours a week that you were spending, but really you want to dive deeper than that. You want to be able to dive into the actual cause of that problem, and that cause of that problem might have been, this thing that made you do data entry, or maybe if it was some task that required a project team or whatever, it required a bunch of emails going back and forth, and maybe you figured out a way to consolidate that. The true problem is stemming from multiple different things that are kind of rolled into that one main problem. And the reason why you want to do that, be detailed with that in your story, is so you can relate to the person that is exposed to your brand story, that's watching the video, that's on your website. This is going to create a point of relevancy for them. They're going to say, this is my problem. I'm doing these 5 things that you're talking about here. This is me. This is my problem. And I agree that, yeah, this all rolls into this one problem that you had. And so now you're saying, hey, we're in the same boat here. That reader, that person's watching the video, learning more about your brand, is saying, hey, this is me, right? So that's the key thing. Think about the problem and think about all the things that create the overall problem. So the problem, time saving, or the problem is that you're spending way too much time, but then thinking about all the things that cause that extra, say, 20 hours a week that you were spending. The second part of your brand story is how the steps you took to solve that specific problem. So this is really where you can start to incorporate your other branding elements, such as you can incorporate your core values. So you really value time, or you value time so much that you developed this service or this product or this system to overcome the thing that was taking too much time. So the key thing there is to talk about and to incorporate these other branding elements, like your core values. We did this. We set up this software. We added this feature, this set of features because we believe in time saving. We believe in not wasting our time. We believe in spending our time with customers more than we do doing unnecessary administrative work. So you can, not only are you telling them the steps of and talking about advantages of your service and benefits, but you're also creating connection points to their core values. If people have the same core values that your brand does, they're going to be more likely to do business with you. They're going to be more likely to say, well, I believe that same thing. I believe that you shouldn't have to do 20 hours a week doing this task, or I believe you should spend more time with your customers. That's something I value. So if that's the key thing, the key point is, as you're describing the features and describing how you got to the where you're at right now with whatever service you offer or product that you built, make sure that you're sprinkling those other brand elements in there, the core values, maybe the vision. You saw, you created this software, or the software ended up in its current form, so you can help other companies, enable them to spend more time on what's important. So that's really, really critical. Is first identifying the problem, focusing in on how you resolved it, incorporating all those branding elements so people can relate and make emotional connections to your brand as they're reading or watching a video about your story. And then it's going to get to the third and really final point of your brand story, which talks more about, and really all about, the vision. It talks about where you're going, right? As somebody's learning and connecting with your brand, they want to know where are you going? What are you believing? What other additional products? How are you improving yourself? People want to be connected to brands that are continually serving their needs better. This is what some big companies have figured out. Amazon has really done a few things really well. They focus in on the customer experience. They're very customer centric. They're focusing in on better selection, better prices. Making it more accessible, making the buying experience easy. That's why a lot of people go to Amazon first, because the buying experience is easy and it gets easier. So the thing about the brand story is you can talk about the evolution of not just how you got to where you are, which is the first two parts of your brand story, but the third part, which is where you're going. You can sell the dream. You can sell where, what you believe in, the vision, the goal, the aspirations that you have. All of this is in that third section. So brand story, you want to, the last thing I'll cover on this is the format in which you put this in. You could put this on, obviously, a page on your website. You can write this out in copy. I highly suggest that you get a video done. You incorporate your brand story into a series of, it could be interviews, it could be interviewing customers, to talk about how you solved their problem along the way to how you got to where you were today. It could be the CEO talking about the future of the company, right? It could be the couple people that had that problem in the very beginning. This is way better to do on video than it is to put out in just text or images, because one other aspect of a great brand story is to make that emotional connection. So one of the best ways to do that is to incorporate video that incorporates real human beings, emotion, people that can show inflection of their voice and get excited about something, get passionate about something. And throwing in music if it's something more sentimental, or if it's something very positive and upbeat. You can set that tone for your brand in that particular format. So I highly suggest you put that into a video format. And the way you can incorporate this into your marketing campaigns to make it more effective is you can do things like run this as awareness ads. If you're running, say, Facebook, or you're running the objective as awareness and reach, pushing that out to your target audience so they can relate to you and understand, wow, this is the story of, this is a heck of a story. And then from there, the people that engage with that story, then you can build, engagement audiences and retarget them and drive them, drive traffic campaigns and conversion campaigns to your website and to other things that you're doing. But if you start with your brand story is a great awareness vehicle to just get people to know about your brand, get people to believe in you, believe in your story, to relate to your story, and then anything else they see from you from that point is going to resonate a lot more with them. They're going to say, I believe in that story. I believe, a lot of the things that you end up following, are the stories you've heard. You've heard somebody's story. You can see this on Facebook. Facebook, you watch a story or some sort of viral video that got shared. Well, typically it's a story, not just a funny video of a cat. There are those out there, but if we're talking about brands here, it might be a story about how they got to where they are today, and they told that story so well that people just couldn't help themselves but share it. So that's a critical way to one critical way you can incorporate that into your marketing campaigns. One last way I'll talk about is to use this in your nurturing campaign. So your brand story could be something that, in say a sales presentation, or maybe you delivered a proposal to somebody, maybe they've seen your brand story, maybe that was part of the process of how they got to you, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe that you got that, you've established that through a relationship that you had. Well, make sure you incorporate that brand story, or send that to them, whether it's email, whether it's retargeting them on social media after you've delivered the proposal. There's a lot of different things you can do, but that's also a great time for them to tell that brand story, to get them thinking and get them connecting to your brand. Because if you are asked, say if you're, again, this is more in B2B, in the B2B space, but if you're delivering a proposal that has a higher price tag, they're going to want to know, why should we do business with you versus doing business with competitors? And sometimes that brand story can be it. They can, if they believe in your methodology, they see the problem, they really truly understand the problem that you solved and that you can solve for them. The more connection they can make, the less likely they're going to focus in on rational thinking, which most people don't do anyway. And they're going to be much more likely to move with you because they can actually connect with you. That's a huge thing. Humans are still buying from humans at the end of the day. Just because we're on social media and digital technology and all that does not mean that humans aren't buying from humans. They might be on the computer buying that way or whatever else, but they're still buying. They're buying connections. They want to buy from brands that they know, like, and trust. They would feel comfortable with. So, with that said, hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been giving you some guidance on building that brand story, thinking about some ways to incorporate that brand story into your marketing strategy, into your funnel strategy. And if you have any questions, go ahead and comment wherever that box is. And please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And we will go from there.